Welcome back to Ladies of Another View, and I want to welcome back our guest, Reverend David Lowery, out in Chicago, and he was a big part of Get Out the Vote in Chicago. And you told us something we hadn't heard before. Like 45, 47% of the vote in Chicago was black
Yes, ma'am, it
for
was at
Trump.
least. And and
Whoa.
and and the sad thing was that I do believe we had won because some of my people there was for the final count. They barred them from the building, and I felt that they were hiding something because the numbers was coming in the different wards. There was quite a few wards that led Kamala Harris 2-1, or maybe 3-1 in some of the black wards. So we know Chicago have a legacy of cheating, but that's okay. I'm running for mayor of Chicago 2027, and we're going to take the city, and then we're going to take the state from J.B. Pritzker, and then the American people can get the services and what we need in our schools, in our cities. Police need to be funded so that they can do their jobs. It's so many things that President Trump is about to do that's going to make our country normal the way it used to be.
David, was that an announcement?
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
That would be
I've been
wonderful.
putting it out there. I made a decision about a couple of months ago, and I figured like this: I'm retired. I'm a citizen, and from a political family. I know what it's going to take. It's going to take people that do the right thing, and if you are a person of righteousness, then you only can prosper. So I just want to be able to make sure that everybody in the city of Chicago have the amenities that they can use in their communities to make them good. So I'm not desperate for money. Like I said, I'm a God-fearing man, and I'm doing this because God is saying, take the city and straighten it out. And I believe in that, and that's what I'm going to do is do the right thing for the people so that the people can flourish.
And as you went around and talked to people, gearing up for the election, and like you said, the black vote has just went to the other side. They're tired of it. They're not. They always want to put them in a corner. They're dumb. They don't know better. But they're seeing things happening right in front of them. It's not getting any better. So if they continue down that path, it's not going to help them. I mean, didn't you feel like some people had a hard time moving to the other side, but they're like, we have to do something different?
Well, I think for the lack of knowledge, a people will perish, and the Bible talks about that. When I started to get out and talk to citizens, and I got out talk to seniors about actually what's going on, I just compared the times. I said, look at us right here. And numbers don't lie. When people started looking at the numbers on how bad America was doing, gas $10 a gallon, wars that we didn't have to be in, you let our country be invaded with illegals, and the first plan of attack was to be in the black community using our resources. I mean, and then you want to take the trans world, the culture thing. I think people were fed up, and they saw that Kamala Harris was part of the problem because it was her that allowed these things to happen. And she kept talking about being on the first day in office. Well, her first day started 3.5 years ago when she was vice president. And so people saw that she was not sincere, and that she was only using that platform to further do the damage to America, that what they did with all the new changes, the laws, the transgenderism, the Satanism in our face, the persecution of Christians, all the things that was happening um, in the city of Nevia. And I want to give you a quick analysis. See, the reason why President Trump was allowed to get back into office was because God used him as an instrument of war. He went through all of those things, being shot, the charges, all of that. He has been through what black men and women have been through for ages. And so for him to go through that and still standing, I know God was using him as an example, not for two things, for him to see for himself and for black people to understand that he associated with us through that. So I think with all of that, people in the black community were saying, you know what, Trump experienced it, he survived it. So, let's take a chance with him opposed to keep going down the lane with them because we're losing our children, we're losing our rights. All our freedoms are being tossed out the window. The wars and the Democratic Party continued to get richer, and the communities got poor. So Black people were ready for the change. It's where do we go from here now? And we do have an agenda, so we're going to be fine. But we want to make sure that whatever party that we relate with, whoever that we vote for, we have the best interest, not only for our communities, but for all the American communities across the country.
You know, it seemed like the Democrats were just so full of poison, but they drank their own poison. You know, it came back at them. Everything they did to try to attack, every lie. You know, they always, the whole time, they kept trying to make him a racist president in the first time. And it's like, but he won awards from the Black community. Nobody ever called him a racist. Oprah Winfrey loved him. All of a sudden, now he was a racist, and it was built on a lot of lies that they knew were lies that they kept repeating. Now, I want to quote in the article, the Project 21 article on conservatives, Black conservatives respond to the Trump victory. You said, today the United States starts a new era of freedom, just as the colonies did when they freed themselves from the tyrannical Britain. And I feel like they're being freed. It's a whole new world. It's a whole new day for the Black community. And maybe, my hope is, I think middle-aged white liberal women are going to fight this the most. Yeah. But I feel like the Black community maybe will let their guard down and join forces to see that the Trump administration wants to make their lives better, not worse.
Well, you know, there was a different feel in the air of the freedoms as an American and as a patriot to this country. I know that feeling. I know the feeling that we had under the Trump administration when things were going good. Our country was not at war. You know, industry was coming back, and things were good. Entrepreneurship was a highlight, and so the past 3 years and 4 years, there has been a cloud, and so I think people really saw that. But for us in the Black community, it was the fact that the disrespect that to us. And this is what really made the Black community come out and vote. It backfired. When Kamala Harris knew that she was not going to even be close in this race, what they did was brought out ex-President Barack Obama and to scold Black men and Black women for not standing up and voting. And I think him having the audacity to come out and say something to Black men when he was there 8 years, he never did nothing. He never offered any economics. He never did nothing for the Black community. All he did was became a billionaire off Black people. And Black people finally realized that he was not there for us, but for everybody else. So when he came out scolding Black men like he knew somebody, that turned us against the Democratic Party to say, you know what, Barack, you don't have a Black card. You're not invited to no more picnics, that you no longer will be an icon, but you will be a doormat for what we need to put our feet on when we know that we can stand on our own and not be told what to do by somebody that didn't care about us. So that triggered a lot of emotions in the Black community. And that's why we saw Black men go out 45 to 44% for President Trump. And we're going to continue to get stronger. And I'm going to meet with the president and put an agenda forth, and we're going to create our own economics in the Black community, our own schools, and do just like every other community has done in America, is be self-sufficient and take care of our own selves.
That is it's fabulous. Music to our ears, David. You mentioned that the breakdown of the family unit, and, there's past administrations, policies have only contributed to that over time. How do we reverse that trend?
In 30 seconds.
Yeah, in 30 seconds. Yeah.
I can do that immediately. When President Trump came out and gave his speech the other night, when he said there will be no more 3 genders, it's going to be a man and a woman that's in the United States. When he killed all of that stuff out the schools with the teachers telling the kids a boy inside you, when he made those rules and said, I'm going to reinstall parents as parents over their children, when he said that broke the LGBT back, because they had used the government to weaponize themselves and their culture against us. So for him to make that statement, that rolled back everything Barack Obama and them did, and what the gays did under the Biden administration with the transgenders, all of that ends when the law is passed. and America will be brought back to normal. And God's going to bless America, because had we made that a normal lifestyle, we would be just like the new Sodom and Gomorrah, and it wouldn't be long before we would be completely destroyed.
You gave me goosebumps. Pastor Lowery, thank you. You're a part of this change. You're a huge part of this change. So thank you for everything that you've done. Our prayers go with you, and I will love to keep in touch and know how things are going in the
Let's
future.
stay in touch. When I get ready to run for mayor, listen, God
Yes.
bless America. Let us work as a team. Keep praying, because God is hearing our prayers. Let's keep implementing. Have faith over fear, and let us continue to fight for our freedoms. God bless America, and God bless the ladies of Another View.
And God bless Pastor
Yes.
Lowery. And yeah, do not let up on your prayers. Keep them coming. So thank you,